Sorry. I didn't even realize that it had run out. So yeah, if a dinosaur were to come through here in some spectral range, oh God, damn ads. If some dinosaur were to come through here in some spectral range, which is what I heard on this thing, which is now playing an ad, um, would would this, and it won't let me X out. There we go. Yeah. So I heard a dinosaur roar on this thing, and it said nonprofit, doesn't make sense. But this thing didn't show anything at all. So would this show like a dog walking through? Would this show a cat walking through? You know, does it even pick up like cats, dogs, mice, gerbils, you know, maybe a fly, you know? I mean, something, a butterfly, a fairy, you know? I don't know. I mean, it's not catching anything at all when this thing is catching quite a lot. So I don't know what to make of it. So the visuals aren't lining up with the auditory. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this off now. I'm glad that I'm not catching anything. I got to tell you, because I got to live here. I don't want to be catching anything. I'm exceedingly glad that this is not catching anything. This one down here, the noises that I'm getting are absolutely. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna stop this one for the moment. This one, I don't know. I'll turn it up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. And what I suspect this one is doing is that it's catching radio frequency airwaves. Yeah, paint, nonprofit. I even had retirement on here, and mortgages. And so I'm guessing that this one is actually picking up someone's spoken word over some type of airwaves rather than any actual ghosts, which is why it would have what it has. So, and I said I was going to give you the list. So here we go. This is the list. And let me see. You can see. Okay, when I started today, before I did the whole thing, it said, let me see. Yeah, 820, 820. Wow, it said a lot. I didn't know that. No way. So it said a lot. I didn't even see that. So it said obligation, mitten, interest, weeps, restriction, pass. And I'm not looking at the time codes here. So what did it started with obligation. So it said obligation at 143, and at 143 it said mitten, and at 3 minutes later at 146 it said interest, and then at 1 minute later it said weeps. 1 minute at the exact same time it said restriction. At the exact same time it said pass. So that's interesting. That looks ghostly to me. I'm sorry, it does, especially what I've learned about the afterlife. So then suddenly out of the blue, it said 151, it said racism. And then 155, it said bet. And then 156, it said Ilana. 156, it said Thanksgiving. So this is when I was starting the whole thing. Especially after I said the words, it suddenly said Thanksgiving. And then suddenly, after that, it said lower, and it stayed on lower till at 159. So at 203, it suddenly said grandmother, so that was nice. 204, it said affair. 204, it said alarm. So at the same minute, it said affair and alarm. 205, it said smoke. So maybe I was lighting the incense then, or about to. 205, it said important. 227, it said hungry. 227, it said cold. So it stayed on important until I came back in here. And then it said 228, it said frustration. So did you hear that? That freaked me out. 229, it said he bad. That's creepy. 229, it said create. 229, it said Russian. Now that made me think that it was picking up on a TV show. Said 231, it said in. Anyway, yeah, so it said 228 frustration, 229 said he bad, 229 the exact same time it said create, 229 the exact same time it said Russian, 231 it said in, 233 it said temperature, and then it stayed on that, I think, until I came back into the room. I don't know. But then at 235 it said glass, 235 it said hello, glass and then hello, 237 it said nonprofit, 240 it said paint. And the reason I'm reading this out loud is for anyone, you know, for the sight impaired, actually. So, yeah, there you go. And I'm sorry for those who can see well enough. I'm sorry about the shaky hands. I'm sorry about all that. But this is the weird stuff that I'm picking up, you know. So I don't know what to think. I'm going to go back. It says wrong. That's interesting. I wonder, and a lot of times it'll pick up words when I'm looking at the list and suddenly, yeah, look at that. Suddenly it says 242, they said past. 243, it said homeland. 243, it said happy. 244, it said wrong. So I don't know what to think about any of this. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close up this whole thing, this whole session. So yeah, that's it. That's it. And just to show you, let me see here. Just to show you, come on. So this is the app I was using, Ghost Hunting Tools. See, it's blue and it has a great big handprint, like that. So that's what we got. That's what we got. So that works pretty well. That I use that one almost all the time when I do use it. But yep. I do all this just to be left alone. Just to be left alone, because this really does, at least for a little while, for a few days, it does seem to pacify stuff. And my life, actually, after doing this, I got to tell you, I wasn't picked on anymore. I wasn't bothered. Stuff actually went better for me. And it was literally because whatever was messing with me wasn't messing with me anymore, you know, at least for a little while. So I wasn't tense, I wasn't terrified, I wasn't angry, I wasn't having all kinds of problems. Just doing this much helped a lot. So yeah, so the license to depart. So, honor guests of this temple, the window of our communion is closing. Take your last taste of these enjoyments and refreshments, obviously, and go in peace. Vacate the thrones of the feast and go forth unto your abodes and habitations as you desire. Forever act as friends and helpers, so mote it be. So, there you go. And he says these 3 practices of meditation, banishing, and offering should all become regular parts of your magical regime. The ideal would be to do all 3 every day, meditation and banishing perhaps twice a day. This seems like a lot, but really it isn't much time at all, especially after you learn the rituals by heart. If you cannot do them or similar practices daily, then you should at least shoot to meditate and banish 3 or 4 times a week and perform offerings at least once a week. And that's all from this Protection and Reversal Magic, a Witch's Defense Manual by Jason Miller. You can definitely get this on Amazon. Let me give you the ISBN real fast here if I can manage to. Before it cuts off. Yep, okay, ISBN 13 number 978-1-56414-879-7. And the 10 number one is 1-56414-879-3. So there you go. There you go. That's it for this video.